I'm almost finished building my 60 by 40 Barndo. And something I've been thinking a lot about is, would I do it again if I had the chance? I'll tell you the short answer is yes, I would. But there was a lot of things that were unexpected, and I'm going to share with you some of the biggest things that I've learned so that if I was doing it again, it would be a much better experience. Quick backstory, by the way. I built this 60 by 40 Barndo with no experience and lived in that fifth wheel while we were building it. So if you took me in a time machine back 4 years ago after we bought this land and you said to me, Brandon, will you build this again having the experience that I have? Number one, that'd be really helpful because I've learned so much from doing this. Number two, I would go back in time and do this again. I would definitely do things differently, but and I'll make a video about some of those things that I would have changed. But having built it and doing all of the work myself, I would never do it again, but I'm thankful that I went through it at least one time. So here's what I mean by that. So having done this was a great experience, and I'm thankful that we were able to get this done. I'm really thankful for all of the skills that I've learned. I think the biggest improvements that I've seen personally myself is that I'm not afraid to start projects. I have like much better resolve to do things and do hard things in particular. Just going through a process that's so difficult, and I'm going to be honest, it's been difficult. There's been things that were both physically exhausting, mentally exhausting, just having so much work and being overwhelmed all the time. So it was a lot. You know, specifically, we don't have inheritance, and we're not millionaires and just have piles of money sitting around. And so the practical aspect of having to pay for everything while running a business, while doing the work and all of these things is and was very difficult. So here's a quick recap for you. We bought our land, we improved it to the point where we could move our RV on, and we lived in our RV while we were building the building. We actually got the bottom story of the building finished first, and then we moved inside because we had winter to deal with, and living in that thing through the winter is not the best. So I learned so much from doing this whole process, and it was definitely a good experience. But if I was to go back, or if I was to go build another building, even though I have all of this experience now, I would definitely hire somebody. The reason that I'd hire somebody is because, number one, I know that they would probably do, not probably, they would do a better job in terms of quality, right? So if somebody's a carpenter full-time, they're going to be better than I am. The house that I built, it is good quality, but they're going to be able to do things faster, and it's going to be far more precise. They're going to just have everything done, you know, really, really well. So that's one thing. You're going to get a better work product, and it's going to be faster. And also, the cost savings for me to do the work myself is not going to be greater than what I would make if I was spending time working in my business. So that's another thing. I've been growing my business a lot, and so it's important that I continue to grow it, and taking time away to do that, unless it's something that I love doing or want to do, it's not worth it for me. So in the future, if we buy like a piece of land in the forest and we want to build a log cabin or something, maybe depending on how old my kids are and if they can help, and it would be a good experience for them to build something, or, you know, if they want to build a house themselves in the future, then absolutely I'm going to help them. But if it's just for myself, I'm not going to be picking up a hammer or, you know, hanging drywall again. I don't want to do that. And unless something changes in terms of, like, you know, having less to do with business and just needing to do it. So unless it's a necessity, I'm not going to be doing it, with the exception of maybe like a few trades or things that I really like to do. So things that I don't mind doing, certain tile jobs are not bad. It's pretty fun. You know, putting in backsplashes, doing electrical work, you know, things like that. But when it comes to like drywall, actually, I really did enjoy the rough carpentry too. That was pretty fun. But, you know, drywall, absolutely not. Flooring, absolutely not. Painting, absolutely not. Because I did all of that. I've done it. I just don't want to do it again. That's being completely honest. Now, I don't think that there is... I don't think I could say enough about the process of doing all of this. Like, it taught me so many things, and it definitely gave me self-confidence because, like, I know that I could do it if I had to. It also is really helpful to learn how all of these things work so that if something breaks, I can fix it. And things break all the time, and so I'm constantly fixing stuff. That's just how it goes, especially when you're out in a place that has, you know, stuff happens, and there's not a ready supply of contractors and things. If something breaks on a Sunday, you got to fix it. You know, if your wells goes down, you got to know how to fix it, what the problem is, and try to resolve it yourself, because there's nobody to call out here. We're pretty isolated. And that leads me to the next thing. We're going to be building a sweet barn over here. It's going to be a huge 42 by 40 or 40 by 60 barn for animals, livestock, and all kinds of things over here. And I'm not going to build it, most likely. I mean, depending on if we can get contractors and things to do it in a timely manner, because there's still a shortage of work out here in rural areas. But I don't have any desire to build that myself. I probably would get, and I know actually I would get a better work product. It'd be done a lot more quickly, and it wouldn't be something that I would have to do. I'm not opposed to building it. That seems like a lot more fun to build a barn than a finished house, because there's so many more pieces of work to finish in a house. So if you're somebody who sees this and says, okay, that's great, I think I still want to build the house on my own and do everything on my own. That sounds awesome. I support you in doing that. Here are some things to consider that hopefully will give you better expectations, that will make this build process a lot easier on you. So number one, the thing that I thought was kind of unexpected, and I'm 37 years old. As I was building it, it was the last 3 years, right? So 34 to 37. I got injured a lot, and like just the physicality of it, I'm not like I'm not working out all the time and stuff, but I'm not like in super bad shape or anything. I'm a pretty average guy in general, but I was surprised how often I would get hurt. So, you know, hurting my hands, hurting my eyes, hurting my ears, hurting my back. So just make sure you wear safety equipment. I did not wear safety equipment ever. My hearing probably got greatly reduced, especially using the nail gun inside the shop. Like, just take a second, make sure you're protected, and then also just don't overdo it. Lifting drywall all day and lifting it up the stairs, you know, 2 sheets of 5/8 drywall, 4x8, that's heavy. And so there would be times where I'd pull my back out, and it was a lot. So it's a lot more physical than you think. Make sure that you either have the money to like hire somebody to move stuff for you. Make sure you have equipment that's gonna, you know, make time easier, forklifts, skid steers, stuff like that. Because if you're doing it all by hand, it's gonna take a toll on you. The second thing that I think is a really good expectation to have if you're gonna do this is that you need to expect it's gonna take longer than you think, and it's gonna cost more than you think. Now, you're in a good position right now because material pricing has come down a ton compared to where it was, you know, 2 or 3 years ago. So you're able to buy stuff for a lot cheaper. It still feels expensive. Everything feels expensive. Copper still feels expensive, you know, wire, all of that stuff. But wood is way cheaper. Steel buildings prices have come down substantially if you're going to go steel. And, you know, there's a lot of benefits there. So just expect it's going to take longer and cost more than you think. The third thing that I think you should have as an expectation is that you just have to dedicate so much time to this. If you're a person like I am who likes to start a million projects, and then finishing projects is tough, you have to learn that skill of starting and finishing, because there's just always a million things. I mean, still, we have like the last pieces of things to do on the house right now are install some trim, base trim in 2 rooms, and that's it. The base trim, and then actually touch up paint. So we're almost done, and it feels amazing to be there. But having that like mental load of I have this list of 400 things that I have to do, it weighs on you and it feels stressful. So that's something to think about too. And the last piece of advice is just don't give up. There's going to be times where things break, things are difficult. I mean, like there was times where there was just difficult stuff to do. Like you didn't want to do it. There was a project that you'd have to climb up to the top of something, or, you know, you're trying to fit a window in, or, you know, do stuff. There's nobody to call. You're the cavalry. You have to do stuff. Just have that mindset. Okay, I'm just going to go do it, get it done. Doesn't matter how hard it is. You just have to do it. That's kind of it. If you have any questions, comments, or you need help with anything, please be sure to comment below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you think I missed anything, be sure to comment and tell me what you think.